Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Candace your rapid manifestation coach. And here on my channel, I teach you the easiest, simplest, fastest, most low effort ways to manifest possible. Okay. If you're a member of this community, you know, manifesting isn't complicated. It's simple. Now, like I said, I am a manifestation coach. So if you want me to help you bring your desires into your life quickly, please take a look at those links in the description box below. Coaching is now open. So today we are talking about a hot topic, how to get rid of a third party. I did a video on this maybe like a year ago, but I just went over this with a client today. So I thought, why not talk about it again, do a little refresher. All right. So immediately off the bat, let me go ahead and tell you, I deal with third parties differently than some other coaches. Not all the way different. I'm sure you've heard this, what I'm going to tell you, you've heard this advice before. However, there are some things that I just do not do when I'm trying to remove a third party from a situation. Okay. So what I want to talk about primarily today is when you just cannot stop thinking about them, when you just constantly are having intrusive thoughts about a third party. Like you're doing well, you're focusing on yourself, you're doing your affirmations, you're getting some movement, everything's going, the way you want it to go. And then all of a sudden, like for no reason, no one gave you any reason to think about this, bam, you're just like, ugh, but what about that third party? Are they still there? What's happening? What's going on? And it's like you can't help but have these thoughts that just interrupt whatever you're doing and bring up your fears and what you think is going on and what you don't want to happen. So I'm going to tell you how to deal with that today. And it is honestly, just like everything I tell you, it's pretty simple. It just takes practice. So some other coaches that I have heard will say things like, oh, well, just, revise. One piece of advice that I do not use, they'll say to revise the situation. You can just affirm that they were never there to begin with, that they don't even know each other, or, that you heard them saying like, oh, I don't even know that person. This would never happen. I don't even like them. All types of things. But basically you're still thinking about the third party in that particular situation. I have heard coaches say to affirm things for the third party. Like they find another boyfriend, they find another girlfriend, they move to another state. Like you're affirming things on their behalf that you want to happen to them. These two things I do not I just do not tell my clients to do this. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why. In every single video, what do I tell you guys? What you think about grows. What you focus on expands. So simply the fact that you are affirming for this person, okay, is holding their place in your life. It means this person has to exist in your reality because you are thinking and affirming and imagining that these things are happening to them. You're imagining that they have this blossoming love life over here. You're imagining that they're starting a new life in a new location. Why are we even holding them in place in our life? Especially if they're a person that just triggers you negatively, right? It's not like it's like, I don't know, your doctor or like a librarian or the cashier at the store where it's just like, oh, that's just a person. Like, sure, I can affirm some things for that. Like, no, this is a person who probably maybe has done something to you in the past, or just the thought of them really like doesn't give you a good feeling in your stomach, or you just want them gone. So what kind of sense does that make for you to affirm things for them to basically make it somewhere in your reality bubble that they're still around? Like that is weird, right? So to me, that's never a good idea. The reason why is because you're not going to focus on them enough to actually have, and I don't want to say, I'm sure there's going to be people in my comments, well, I did affirm that the 3P got a boyfriend and they did do that. Like, okay, yes, this is not 100% of the time. There's going to be that 1-2% of the time where it works. But in like the typical person who's manifesting, who's more focused on their life, okay, and what they have going on, is not going to be putting that much effort and attention into affirming a different scenario for someone else completely that is not, is not a family member or someone that they love or they care about. So really what you're going to end up doing is just holding that person, like basically just placing a stake in your life with that person there. imagine like a play, in your life, this is just going to be one of the characters who's there. No, we want to get rid of that person. So we are not going to affirm anything else for them. The same goes for trying to revise. And for revising, to me, it's even worse, because not only are you holding that person in your life and in your reality, but what you're doing is you're re-traumatizing yourself with the events of the past by replaying them in your mind. Whether or not you're replaying them with a different outcome or a different set of conversation, you're still taking that situation and going over it over and over again in your mind, because that's what we do when we affirm, right? We are just repeating. So you're basically re-traumatizing yourself, digging up those old feelings instead of leaving them in the past, in the dark, where they belong. You should always be looking to move forward. And these two methods particularly do not work well for people who find that they are anxious manifestors. For people who find that they do not easily, the first time around, they don't easily just accept everything is going well, I'm not worried about it, I can ignore my 3D, no problem. And who is really like that? It takes so much practice. It takes so much repetition and seeing that manifesting works for you and believing that you're great and excellent at it to really just be carefree about it all the time. So I would not suggest these methods to my clients. Now, another side reason why I don't like these methods is because I don't feel like when you're manifesting, you should ever harm anybody. And even though, they may be just girlfriend and boyfriend or whatever, they may be just acquaintances, they may be just crushes or coworkers or whatever it is, I don't feel that you should actively be trying to tear another relationship apart that's intact. Because would you want that to happen to your relationship? No, not at all. I do not believe in hurting others in order to get what you want. Manifesting will work without you actively trying to do something negative to another person. It will, okay? And there are going to be, I bet you there's going to be comments under here where people are like, anything is possible. This is a limiting belief that I can't, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that nothing is possible, but I'm saying if that's the kind of person you are, keep me out of it, okay? Keep me out of it. I'm not ever going to tell you to harm anyone while you're doing it, because manifesting is going to work just fine. And what I tell you is going to work just fine. When you are doing your SP affirmations, when you are focusing, when you're doing your SP affirmations, when you're focusing on yourself, when you're directing that person's desire onto you, okay, onto yourself, that is working. It's going to work. It's going to do its job. And when you couple that with what I tell you to do and how to get rid of that third party, just like this, I'm getting all tongue tied, y'all. But when you couple that with what I'm about to tell you what to do to get rid of the third party, that still didn't make sense. Anyway, it's going to work. It's going to work without you having to be doing any bad stuff. Okay. So in order to get rid of them, to stop those intrusive thoughts, it's not just about ignoring. Yes, you have to ignore. You don't want to save a place for that person in your life. Okay. So we are going to starve them of our attention. Why? Because that is what is going to make them shrivel up and go away. By constantly giving them attention, even if it's little tidbits here and there, by affirming and revising, you're keeping them around. So the next time that the thoughts of the third party enter your mind, we're going to use science in order to get rid of them. Yes, you're going to ignore them. You're not going to worry about it. You're going to ignore your 3D. But I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that, which is science-backed. Because over time, your brain has created neural pathways that connect your SP, the third party, and whatever experience it is that you think is going on, that you're making up in your mind, because you don't know. You don't have a camera. You're not a fly on the wall. You do not know. These are just fears in your mind. But you have these automatic pathways that once these thoughts start and get triggered, it automatically goes down the same path every single time, every single day, every hour, you know, whenever it is that you think about it, every week, whatever the frequency of it is. So using the science-backed methods to get rid of it, you have to do this very quickly. The first thing, you immediately start to affirm things that make you stop thinking about it. So things such as, why am I even thinking this? I never have thoughts like this. They don't even know each other. I don't even know anyone like that. Why am I thinking about this like crazy imaginary person? Like, what is even happening? Just like that simple. Affirm that they don't know each other. You don't know this person. You have no idea why you're having these thoughts. You never have these thoughts. That's a big one. Do not leave that one out. Okay? I don't even have thoughts like these. Like, what in the world is going on? And I would probably say this one twice, right? You want to do it really fast. Literally, just say them one time. We're not doing repetition here, okay? The importance here is not going to be repetition. The importance is going to be to quickly replace the thoughts and derail that pathway, interrupt it, cut it, okay? And then move on to something else. So, why am I even thinking about this person? I don't know who that is. I never have thoughts like this. My SP doesn't even know who that is. This person doesn't even, like, this person doesn't even exist. Why am I never think like this. Like, what is going on? Literally take 10 seconds to do that. And then immediately the second part is to distract yourself. Sing a song. Have like this image that's like this weird image in your mind that whenever you think about it, this image pops up and distracts you. Go do something. Stand up. Do a jumping jack. Like, it sounds weird, but you have to do something to immediately distract yourself from this thought. This is how to scientifically break that neural pathway, break that thought pattern, and move on to something else. And you have, again, this takes practice, you guys. It takes practice. But once you do that, start distracting yourself. Think about something else and then turn on a TV show. Think about something else. Do something physically active, right? To activate those different systems in your body. Do a jumping jack, do whatever. Stand up, sit down, sweep the floor. Whatever you have to do. Start writing down, I don't know, a passage. Play tic-tac-toe with yourself. Like, anything silly, it doesn't matter what it is. You just have to immediately distract yourself and move on to something else. And again, it takes practice. But what you're going to find is those intrusive thoughts about the third party are going to come less and less frequently. If they were coming like this, okay, they're going to come like this. And they're going to come like this. Until they're not coming at all. All right. This is how you can actually actively stop yourself from thinking of the third party, to completely ignore them and remove them from the situation. So imagine if you're doing this along with the fact that you're doing your SP affirmations, you're doing your gratitude, you're doing your micro actions, you're doing everything that you're supposed to do. You are going to then begin to start naturally focusing more on your movement with SP and not whatever is going on over here with the third party, because you won't even be thinking about it because you've totally disrupted that pathway. Okay. So I know I mix like the manifesting with the practical sometimes, and that's how I get fast results. And this is one of those things I really highly suggest you guys start to do it. And it doesn't just work with third parties. It works with anything. It works with like any belief that is just randomly coming into your mind and throwing you off track. This works to completely derail the thought, break the neural pathway, and just totally stop. Like, you're just going to extinguish the behavior. It's going to go away. Okay. All right. I hope that helped. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.